Making a game can be a very rewarding experience, or so I've been told. You see, even though I'm called Gurky the Dev, I've never actually accomplished the goal of finishing any game yet. So that's why in this video, I have set out to accomplish that goal, to actually complete my first game. And this is how I did it. Check it out. But first, a huge thanks to those of you who buy me a coffee. You can check out how you can support me this way after the video is over. Until then, let's begin. Like most things in life, I wanted to stay as organized as possible during this process. I don't want to do things without purpose or without some sort of framework in mind. That's why I started with the SMART framework. I went over this in depth in my scope video. You can check it out right here. And the specific goals that I wanted to accomplish for this game was just completing the first game. I didn't want to reinvent the wheel or create a complex game with a bunch of unique mechanics. I just wanted to complete it. So I chose a tutorial by Eric Berg, and he goes over how to create Pong. And I thought that this would be great for a YouTube video, and it would also be easy for me to accomplish. And although this game was relatively easy to create, I found out very quickly that this shit's hard. I mean, this really challenged my creativity and also my coding skills, albeit the little I had at the beginning of this recording. But it's not always about the raw talent. It's also about the ability to complete the mission that's in front of you in the most efficient time possible. I spent about 10 total hours on this project, and here's where I spent my time. I spent my time mostly coding. I also spent it making game objects. Then there was also artistic touches with audio and graphics, and then also testing for bugs or debugging. First off, I want to talk about coding within Unity's engine. The syntax within Unity was a little bit different. I had some trouble learning the terms, but I'm a guy who knows C# pretty well, so it wasn't too bad trying to figure this out. I will say there was some difficulty trying to hook up everything within Unity's framework. See, I'm used to working with either code or editing within a UI, not both of them together. But once I understood the linkage between the components within Visual Studio and then the components within Unity, everything started to click together and I started getting stuff done. And the bug testing, well, it kind of came and went. See, since I had a video going step by step with like how to hook everything up and like how to tweak the code, I didn't have as many bugs as you would in a live environment. But I still found myself kind of flipping through and then going, okay, I'll type in this code, and then wait, I had an issue there. How did I get that issue? And then I'd have to bug test on my own because I didn't want to just flip back, find what was wrong, and then copy and paste the code into my game. I wanted to actually solve problems as I went. If I had to give my bug testing skills at the beginning of this process, I'd give them a 4 out of 10, but I'd say I'm getting closer to a functional programmer level by the end of this process. And yes, I could have read more on the Unity documentation and this would have helped out in my project, but I figured I would focus on just accomplishing the goal, which was finishing the game. See, it's incredibly easy to get lost in the dream of making a stellar experience for your player. I wanted to make the most unique experience of Pong possible, and the thing is, I still could. But I wanted to stay on mission for this video, which was finish the game, not make a perfect and polished game. Speaking of polish, let's talk about the art design. So since I was still following the tutorial, it was a very minimalistic art design. I honestly expected to handcraft more assets for Pong, but it turns out there's a lot of things that you can create within your game engine, especially Unity's game engine. There's a lot of components that you can use for this. It reminds me a little of editing a YouTube video in this way. I can't really describe it any other way than it would be intuitive for you if you have a good understanding of inspector windows, plugging components, and putting these things together will help you create a lot of building blocks really quickly. After everything's said and done, I would probably recommend getting your artwork finished after you get the game loop polished, just because the game loop is the core concept of a game. See, we can passively watch a movie or a show, but the game loop is what people are going to interact with, and that's what's going to keep them on that treadmill of, hey, your game is awesome. I'm addicted to your game. Let me keep playing your game, please. As far as the music and the sound effect goes, I cut corners on this project and ended up using 2 resources. This sound effects generator, and then also Stream Beats by Harris Heller. Normally I'm one to really get into creating music and creating great soundscapes, but again, I didn't want to disobey the prime directive, which was, let's say it together, finish the game. And again, this is what I struggle with the most, perfectionism and polishing things. It sometimes feels like I need to polish my projects. It's like a badge of a job well done for me. But in the cases of games like Cyberpunk or the next Elder Scrolls that we're waiting for, or Silksong, the game just doesn't get released for a very long time. See, I think it's important not to overpromise things, but I also think it's equally as important to deliver a game to players in a timely manner. And balancing these 2 things as a game developer is going to be extremely important, especially if you're an indie game developer. So after 10 hours of following tutorials, creating, debugging, and refactoring, just kidding, I didn't do refactoring. That was way too hard and way too fancy for this project. But I finally finished my first game, and there's only one thing left to do now: sharing the project. See, I knew it was going to be important to get feedback from people, and that's kind of the point of this project, was to create something and then get it out there for other people to enjoy. So I sent the build out to one of my close friends and got his opinions on the game. Yeah, you might get a flag from your Windows system saying, hey, like, this might be malicious. It's not. Trust.
Alright. Oh my god, this just fucking wall hacking, dude. What the fuck? This dude fucking plays Call of Duty. He's like fucking. Oh no, he plays fucking CS:GO. But
he is definitely a sweat lord.
Yeah, he really is. I don't even know what the max score is. I probably won't.
Could you imagine? I just put it on like.
Nope, it's not. Oh, what the fuck? How did I get 2 points?
Yeah, I don't. Okay, so this is a glitch that I never figured out, but it
doesn't reset. It doesn't like freeze and.
Yeah. I did something wrong with the scripting, so now it just continues afterwards.
So neat. It's fucking yeah. You'll have to. I can easily see this getting expanded on further. Like you can easily turn this into like oh yes, 4-player Pong with like one on top and one on bottom.
Ooh, I never thought about that. Yeah.
Like it's satisfying to play. It's good. This is really good. This is good stuff for the first draft of a Pong game.
And I thought it was important to make this video too. After all, I'm sharing the project with all of you as well. You can check it out at the link below. By the time I make this video, it should be publicly available. See, it's scary to get feedback on your first projects. Even I was nervous about getting feedback from this video. I'm still nervous about how you guys may respond to this video, but I knew I had to break through. By pressing through this discomfort, it helps me grow, not just as a game developer on my game dev journey, but also in my life. By pressing through this discomfort, it not only helps me grow in my game dev journey, but it also helps me grow in my life. I refuse to give up on myself and also the people around me. The only chance you have to fail on your journey is if you don't try. Even perceived mistakes lead towards better projects in the future. This is my first game. It's ugly, unoriginal, and honestly boring. But it's not the last game I will be making, unless I choose to stop. But I refuse to stop. This is only the first of many games I choose to create. This isn't the last video I choose to create either. That is why I'm confident in saying, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one. And hey, if you want to support the channel, you can do so by buying me a coffee. When you go to my coffee page, there will be many ways for you to help support the channel, such as buying me a coffee. But you can also join our monthly members who get extra perks on top of that, such as these videos getting released early. And then there's also the shop where you can get some extra goodies. I already got a free one up there from one of my other videos, so you can check it out there. Thanks for getting through my spiel, and I'll see you in the next one.